All right. Hey, everybody. It's Jen with Lady Tarot 911. How's it going? How are you faring in this current energy? I don't know about you, but good God, like it has all but almost done me in the shifts and the transformations that I'm going through, the challenges. OMG. Like, I can always tell when I'm going through like some type of timeline shift or quantum leap, or I can always tell it almost, or a spiritual awakening. I started to question if maybe I was going through some dark night of the soul or Kundalini awakening, something like that, because I have been all over the place. And I mean, yeah, emotions, mentally, I've just felt really jacked up lately. And so I need to get on here and I need to find out how you all are doing. I'm gonna actually leave the comments open on this read because I'd love to know how you guys are all feeling. If you want to share, if not, that's totally fine too. I'm just curious if there's anybody else. Is there anybody else out there? Anybody else like me? Anybody else? Or is it just me and I'm just a freak of nature, I guess? I don't know. All right, let's see. What's happening for the collective? What message can I give them tonight? Okay, fix my rings here. All right, so what is this gonna be about? Ooh, someone is stepping up. What is this about? Hang tight, let me get these out. Transformation right there, look at that. Okay. And I should have been reading these to you as I was putting them down. So you got Judgment, Wheel of Fortune, and then you've got the Death card over the Wheel of Fortune. You've got Queen of Swords, the Devil, a Page of Swords, Six of Cups, the Hierophant, Ace of Wands, and Nine of Swords. I'd say, yeah, you are probably dealing with a lot of the same energy and feeling it the same way that maybe I have been. Definitely, like something's on the horizon, something big's coming, new beginning, transformation, something old dying off, something new is coming in. So this is like the past position for me, the current, and then more of the what's upcoming, even though it's kind of all happening at the same time because it's just the flow of the energy. Okay, let's start. So somebody called judgment and accountability on something, some type of reckoning in the past. Somebody had something sharp to say or had to put up some boundaries in regards to some type of addictions or obsessions, some energy, that some shadow energy, or somebody was really having to face that within themselves, being very self-critical. And let's see, give me more about maybe what that was about that kind of led into this current energy. What's the inward self perspective? What is this about? Seeing things clearer in a new perspective, maybe about tired of the stagnation, and then wanting to have some type of new beginning in finances, changing maybe the way that somebody makes their money or the way that they bring in a living. Maybe it's been a challenge of how, or it was a challenge at this time. It was like currently making some big moves in their life, whether this be you or your person, some big changes in where they invest their time. Again, you know that I look at Pentacles as investment, where they invest their time, something having to do with getting over a challenge. So something that happened in the past that could have been very challenging on somebody's finances, but they're rising above that. They're, as you can see, he's only got one leg that is, hopefully you can see that, hopefully that's on camera, yeah. One leg that is tied up, meaning that it would be very easy for him to get himself down from this tree. And he is starting to have a new perspective, a new angled look at things, a new way of looking at things. His eyes are still closed, but he is having some type of epiphany. And then there's that same halo type effect around the prosperity. So it's like, and then here's another halo, the halo around the tree, and then somewhat of a halo around here. But isn't that interesting? So this kind of looks like Pentacles. This is the Queen of Swords. So this is a lot up in their head, a lot of getting straight, getting clear, just this sharpness that is starting to emerge. Like the cloudiness is going away. You can see like clouds here, but there as this archangel, you know, blows the trumpet, and there is accountability or responsibility or an understanding of who needs to pay the consequences. Judgment is very much about redemption, and like somebody has to be responsible for the current situation, what's taken place, what has happened to people, and somebody has spoken about this. And it could be in regards to some type of breaking some type of codependency, or understanding that there has been some type of jealousy or possessiveness, or wrongdoing with money or investment or time, or with somebody's just freedom, being tied up in the tree, freedom, some type of challenge. But there's this doorway. Somebody got through that, or is getting through that, that's leading into the current energy. So now currently there is a remembrance or some type of connection of, like memories that are starting to surface. And because of this Wheel of Fortune, the Wheel of Fortune is destiny and cycles coming to a close, and fate and change. The World card is actually the closure of that, but this is changing the situation into something that is, going to be more destined and more on the path. The wheel it says the wheel is turning in your favor, bringing a fortunate opportunity. And this is causing this transformation of the way somebody thinks, the way somebody feels, what the situation is. Because when you start to change that energy, you shift that energy, or you just like, even with the perspective shift, once you start to look at things differently, the energy starts to finally kind of move again. It's like, I envision it like taking a stick out of a bike spoke that was, the bike was going, all of this was happening around here, and then somebody stuck a stick in the spoke that just stopped it, dead stop, and went, wait a minute, like I'm looking at things, and this could have been divine too, that actually, kind of started to wake somebody up, started to, something happened that catalyzed somebody into some type of spiritual awakening. This could, how I was saying that, I can always tell when I'm going through something that's similar to that, if not that. There was most definitely something in my life that took place that just caused me to go, whoa, hold on just a second. Something is not right here. And that's kind of like that, the universe sticking the stick in the spoke and stopping things for a second and saying, hey, look at the situation, stop your movement, stop going full bore, stop, being out of present moment. You need to come back into present moment and see things for what they are. And then at that time, when things are seen for what they are, the stick is pulled from the bike spoke, and then the bike starts rolling again, right? That's like the Wheel of Fortune. It starts turning the energy. This catalyst, this reassessment causes this transformation, and death being the ending of one situation, but the new beginning of another. So it's this energy. Now you could be here still, you could be here, you could be, anywhere on your timeline. I'm definitely right here, or at least right there. I don't know where you are, but, and this is, the Page of Swords is somewhat, this is like a reminiscent. This is a reflection. So this is introspection. This is reflection. And this is like, well, we haven't gotten there yet, so I'm still on this energy, but this is very much looking back at past mistakes, looking back at good past memories, challenging past memories, things that should have been spoken up for, things that should have been cut out, doing the cutting out of things that aren't serving you or your person. You could be going through this energy in any sort of way. You could be, something could have happened in a relationship, okay? And then there's some type of divorce or breakup or separation that gets the wheel turning. Then there's like this, this nostalgia, looking back. Could I have done anything different? Should I have done anything different? Would it have been different if I would have, done this certain thing? But this is saying that the action that was taken was very much in your favor, and it was a good choice for you, as the Wheel of Fortune has come out. And this is, again, along with whatever here, like this epiphany, this wake up moment, this spiritual awakening, along with the with this death, this ending, maybe removing people out of your life, has this energy moving again, because there was a huge stagnation, time as well, that probably felt like forever. But this could have been a relationship that ended, broke up, a divorce, and now finally maybe you're starting to kind of get into some type of reassessment of, learning lessons, karma, paying off karma, working towards creating a new normal, because that's kind of what we always do, right? And or this could be, maybe something happened with a job, and there's something, maybe it was unfair, maybe there was some type of internal issues with bosses or coworkers, and this has caused a loss in a job, a loss in income, and now there's a reflection on, okay, so then what now am I going to do, and how am I going to move forward, and what do I really want? This is it's a transformation of your soul, of what you're really truly digging deep about, that, because judgment is massive card, right? So is Wheel of Fortune, so is Death card. These are all, Devil is huge too. I mean, these are all part of our transformation. Hierophant, yeah, and then obviously the Ace. Remember me saying that you'll get an Ace after like the you get it after the World card usually, but this is saying, you know, Death card, beginnings or new endings and new beginnings. That's the way that the tarot usually works it, which is fascinating to me that it does that most of the time. But this here is the time on the timeline of somebody who is going through a major change, a huge evolution into another cycle, into another era, into another cycle. And whether you learned your lessons, because Saturn's at play right now, you learned your lessons. You know, Uranus is going to be going into Gemini, and there's going to be quite a few, you know, surprising, shocking moments, whether that be truth, whether that be aha moments, whether that be, you know, kind of the energy it's not real clean in the way that it just, as it flows. I mean, because it's not linear, it's just kind of all over the place. And so the Uranus energy that's coming into play can have a lot to do with these epiphanies or the, you know, this wake up moment, but it's going to be a real time for learning whatever lessons and reflection in which direction you want to go and starting to make new decisions in a different, you know, like on a different trajectory. So, okay, so then tell me about this current, like what's going on. Yeah, momentum, starting to gain momentum. This could be in communication. So somebody could be communicating with you. If it's relationship wise, maybe there's a change of relationships and somebody's looking back on a past relationship, and then there's communication coming in regards to that. There's temperance, okay? Big cards, big cards, big cards. Temperance, the angel, right? So we've got the devil and the angel, moving from the devil to the angel energy, and creating this alchemist, like this alchemy, taking, and alchemy is transmutation. Transmutation is taking challenges, problems, sorry, my ankles pop all the time. If you heard that, I don't know if you heard that, but it's happened a couple times. The energy here, that whether this be something that was laid upon you, whether this is something that you've actually been a part of, this is something that's huge in your life, you're taking the lessons, you're taking like the nutrients out of this situation, you transmute it, meaning turning it into your own power. And in doing so, you alchemize that energy for good. And you use that to push you forward with this momentum, push you forward onto a new path. And hopefully you will have learned lessons. If you haven't, then it will just push you on to another round around that same cycle that you already went on. And a lot of us, like, I want to throw up. I think about going through this again, what I've been dealing with. But, and I'm sure you feel the same way. So, and this could be emotional, you know, with your emotions or emotions waking up and seeing things for what they are, creating these certain type of emotions that you have to transmute and turn into power. And that's all part of the alchemy, the alchemy, that process. So, okay. And yeah, your ego comes into play, obviously, and there could have been some type of competition or, okay, so this card wants to come out and I don't know why. I tried to push it back in, but it popped its head out again. Okay. So, I guess it wants to go like that. So through a lot of patience, maybe there was a lot of competition, or you're seeing it now, how bad maybe the competition was in some type of situation, whether it be work or in relationships with other people, too many people involved, or just finally being able to move out of that energy. That's why I separated them, move out of that energy and make this transformation. This transformation could be happening right now for you. Again, like I said, I think I am right here. And this is important too. Maybe in the past there were decisions that were made because, especially with this devil energy, there were decisions that were made on the short term. Things were only seen so far, but they weren't seen long term. And there were lessons that were learned about that. And now in this new energy, in this transformational energy, in this shift that's happening, there is an ability to slow down, an ability to see things clearer. You can see like the clouds are just wispy. They're not, heavy, it's not a heavy formation around, what's happened. There's been some type of conflict or challenges, obviously, that has catalyzed from this situation into this new energy to get the Wheel of Fortune moving. But it is allowing you to get a broader, longer view, make decisions that are different, that are actually going to be good for you in a long-term period versus these short decisions, quick, impulsive decisions that might have been made in the past. So then moving forward, there is decisions that'll be made out of this, paths that will be taken, directions that people want to go, you or your person. And, right now it's going to, there's always going to be this excitement or this buildup of energy, and then this release of it, which creates like this excitement for this passionate new beginning, which is what the Ace of Wands is, in regards to. Now, this could be into some type of traditional sense, maybe going back to, maybe it's somebody who, was playing the field or messing around with relationships, and then through this energy learned lessons through that, decided, you know what, I don't want to do that anymore, now wants more of a traditional type of relationship. There is going to be, with all change, some type of anxiety or some type of looking back, going, did I do the right thing? Wondering, and this, again, the energies kind of mesh. So this same type of retrospect energy kind of bleeds over into, even though it's a new beginning, there's still going to be some of those polar opposites in, okay, this new beginning feels weird, right? This change feels weird. It's a you have to learn to set yourself, like I mentioned in here, create the new normal, set yourself on a new path. Might feel weird because you haven't done it before. The unknowns, I mean, as Steve says, the most excitement, the best learning, the journey, life is in the unknowns, not knowing what comes next, because the unknown can be so much better than where we came from before, which usually it is because of ascension. That's what ascension is, getting a higher view on life. Okay, again, life is like this and it ascends up, right? That's the learning. If the way I explain it to my kids, if you don't learn your lessons and Saturn comes to ask, kind of question you, have you learned what I've tried to teach you, or what, the challenges you've been going through? And if you haven't made any progress, haven't done any healing, haven't worked on yourself at all, then you stay right here and you go around and around and around. And some people do this their entire life. Well, if you learn the lessons and you actually put in the effort and the work and the energy to better yourself and try harder and try to look back, stop, reflect, do everything that it was saying here when the universe stuck the stick in this book, the new word goes in the log, in the bike spoke, to stop you or your person or whoever this is that's connected to my viewer, stop them, in their tracks and say, listen, come back to present and look at what's actually happening right here. That was, what was I saying about that? Dang it. I was on a roll and I just got stuck with a stick, obviously. Yeah. I was talking about the energy and how it yes, hold on. Steve's saying that it's the unknowns, and it's in the unknowns that, that's right. So sorry, it took me a minute to kind of work myself back to where I was. So in ascension, when you have learned the lessons, you go up, you ascend up, and then you can have a higher view over situations, over life, over things that are happening around you, your environment, other people that, that are still down here. This gives you a higher perspective up here, not in an elite sense, but just in a way where you're just on a different vibration and frequency that they haven't gotten to yet, because they still have lessons to learn down here, or they're being stubborn and they want to, they're not wanting to do the work. And so they just stay in the same cycle around and around. Now, history, pretty much patterns itself. It doesn't repeat itself exactly, but it does mimic. And so a lot of the stuff that I have learned from Steve is in regards to the fact that the energy that and the cycle in the collective, in the world, in society that goes around, right? In 1 year can be the same mimicked looking cycle, same things happening for the most part, just in a different, way with all the advancements and whatnot, but it looks almost the same as another year's cycle in history. And I find that super fascinating. I think he has referred to this cycle as a cycle that is mimicking like the Revolutionary War in that time period. So anyways, this is where you reflect and you take those lessons and you ascend and you start to go a different direction. Let's find out what this is about real quick. For you or your person, for my viewer or their person, what are they like on the path towards? Okay, so coming clear with fears or anxiety. This is anxiety, which is essentially fear. So it could be in regards to you, if you are the Queen of Pentacles energy. The Divine Feminine usually come up as the Queen of Pentacles or the Empress energy, and this could be saying that there is now maybe an uncovering. I want to say that somebody has two dogs. An uncovering of potential. Something that hasn't been seen before in regards to maybe a traditional way being a better way, or maybe traditional sense. This could also be in somebody had been blinded to family traditions that now they understand don't work for them, and they call judgment on them. And there's a new way that they're going to, start living their life that this could be culture, this could be just how we do it, this could be things that happen in the family, this could be religion, this could be in, marriage, or like, I don't know, I could put the example of like, certain birthdays or celebrations or holidays, how things have always been done a certain way. Well, maybe somebody, steps up and says, well, let's do it, a little different this time. Let's try something different, versus the way that we've always done it. And there's going to be like, and it could be around, or could have been around this full moon, that just happened on like April 2nd, that this started to clear, where there was an understanding of what this is and how maybe that's been holding somebody back. It could be in regards to you, or it could be in regards to divine feminine, or just this Queen of Pentacles energy, which is about stability. So especially if this was a job, there could be some unmasking of, the traditional way to do things doesn't necessarily mean that's the better way. Maybe I'm going to try it. I'm going to go a different direction. I'm going to try something new. I'm not going to be in corporate America. I'm actually going to, trust divine and go a different direction and follow my soul mission and my side hustle and start that business, or, get online or do something creative, because again, those promises are there with the universe of, if you create it, I will allow for those results to show up quicker than they would have prior to this, because the energy really needs to be balanced out very quickly, especially to help, in that kind of quantum entanglement that we have with society, and how 5D, controls 3D very easily. But the 3D needs a boost, and it needs to be balanced. The energy needs to be balanced. So, okay, so that's the current energy. That's kind of what's happening. It's kind of what's been taking place, what is happening potentially now if you're on the same timeline, and then what's up and coming. So then what is like, how is the situation or this person feeling or thinking about my viewer at this time? Tell me that. Give me an idea of what the, okay, what's crossing that? A clarity on some type of reciprocity. What's this clarity or this new idea? Oh, somebody could have been, okay, so this to me is that somebody could have been taken from, as somebody was giving more to a situation, it was just being taken, and this became clear. It's almost like there was an awakening or truth to the fact that the money was taken, generosity was given, the investment was given, to a situation, to a job, to a relationship, and left somebody in an impoverished, or in like, what is that word? Impoverished? No. Okay, so that's another word that's gonna go in the log. That's not right. In a poverty state. Dang it! I wish I knew what that other word was. Yeah, okay, so that's the feelings of, but this is not the feelings of what this situation thinks or the person thinks, but this was the realization of potentially you or your person of the situation, maybe on their side, or maybe this is something you could be dealing with, maybe with your person. Maybe this is what your understanding that you gave to a situation, a relationship, or a person in your life, and like there's clarity now on that. It left you feeling very much out in the cold, very, very alone, isolated potentially, like it says alienated. Okay, now, so what is the potential final outcome? Well, no, I'll do that here. What are the thoughts now of maybe the situation involved? Can you give me that? What is like the thoughts and feelings of the people that have been either left, or the situation has changed, or boundaries were put up? So what are, okay, nope, it's not gonna, ouch, it's not gonna give me that. What it's giving me, yep, and one more, what it's giving me, it's still giving me, this is the challenge. So a lot of challenge, the crossing usually is like a challenge of the situation. Understanding that there had been an unfair situation and being left out, truths coming to the surface about the investment or money that was spent on this situation came to light. And this is still about you or your person's, this is you or your person's energy. I asked about maybe what this situation or people, person, whatever relationship, what was like happening, like in the thought process of the changes that were made or the truths that came out, just to kind of get a fly on the wall. But it doesn't want me to know that, and it doesn't want to bring, energy doesn't want to kind of flow that way. It wants to show you that taking a leap of faith might feel like, like you had been trapped, or that you might feel still a little trepidation between these two. But taking this leap of faith, the sun is super bright here, so that means that it's going to lead to exposing or learning. You're going to have that with this Page of Pentacles. You might be in this time period where you feel like your hands are tied. You can't do anything. You don't know which way to go. There's too many options, too many choices. You just feel stuck, right? But it's saying that this leap that you've made, because you were stuck over here too with this Hangman, this leap that you've actually chosen, this leap that you've made, you know, universe is going to help you with that Temperance angel that was underneath here. The universe is going to help you and help you see things and get out of this, you know, energy, this limitation type of energy. And you're going to be learning some new things that will help, and new opportunities will come about that are going to help you get, I was talking about this already, this excitement with this new beginning. And here's the card. There's going to be a new excitement, this new, I'm hearing fresh energy that comes in that shows you, and you can see this is the sun. This almost looks like a phoenix that's rising. I don't know. Hopefully you guys can see that right back here. It looks like a phoenix rising. There's going to, after you learn about some type of new job or like a new relationship. I don't suggest going straight into a new relationship. I don't think that the universe is suggesting that either, but I think that maybe like an investment, new relationship with yourself and getting clear on what it is that you want, resting, recovering from, you know, and doing the introspection or the retrospection from this situation. But once you get that under your belt and you start learning the things that you need to learn, it's going to create this excitement for this new direction that you're going to be going in. And so then now give me the potential final outcome, just of like this new energy that's up and coming. Where is that going to lead to? Taking back your sovereignty, I'm hearing. Oh yeah, and this is going to help you in creating what it is that you have been wanting, even, you know, from a child time, a childhood time of life, I want to say. This could show you how to manifest quicker. I'm getting instant manifesting. This is gonna allow you to you're gonna be very excited that it's gonna be overload. Like your brain and your mouth are gonna be going too fast. My mouth is going too fast for the message, right? So you might have to slow your down. You might have to slow yourself down a little bit, just like I have to. And yes, be excited about this, but you're going to be given the opportunity to see that you have all of these great tools at your fingertips that are going to give you the ability to manifest in exactly what you wanted. This back here had blocked this from happening. So if things were not going good for you, if you were having trouble, hopefully that's on camera, yeah. If you were having trouble bringing things in, like manifesting your wishes or dreams or things that you were just needing, and you couldn't understand why they weren't coming into you, it's because this was in the way. And this is why divine got involved, this divine intervention, and created the stick in the bike spoke to stop you or your person to really look at the situation for what it was and wake somebody up. And this manifestation, you remember when I was saying like the new beginning? This is the Magician card is the one card in the tarot deck with the major arcana. And this manifestation is starting this whole new era, this whole new path, this new cycle for you is going to be based upon manifestations that you have put out there, but they haven't been able to align because of what was blocking. And so this is probably the best card that you could even get in like leading into this, because it's starting this foundation of just pure richness and you know, your wishes, your dreams, your hopes. It's starting on a good foundation because it's starting with all the tools, not just some of them, and it's not being blocked by anything. There's a great freedom that comes with the Magician being the one card. It's about self, and it's about getting back. The one is in alignment with yourself and what you're wanting, and getting on a good path. So a lot of like the karmic contracts or the karmic debt is being paid, and the ability then to unblock any type of financial, relationship, love, emotional, you know, physical, any type of challenges that you were having, that you were trying to manifest in and change that, you know, that your perspective or your mind to align with, it was being hindered. It was being covered with the clouds, and that is now moving away. If it hasn't already, if you've moved on to this new energy into where now things are clear and you have, I mean, look at that. And this 8 is the infinity sign, is you coming back to you, creating the energy, using the energy as a magician for your dreams and desires to be cultivated, essentially. Which is beautiful. Now, I do know that this is probably where I'm sitting right now. I don't know about you guys, but it's been really, really hard, and it's been really heavy. And So just if you've been going through that, I'm here to validate that that is actually the energy that's been at play, and you're not alone. Hopefully I'm not alone and just a freak, but I do trust in my cards, and I trust in the information that's channeled through me. So just hold on, you know, it's going to get better. It's going to get brighter. Just keep going. That's how I get through it. I just one foot in front of the other and one step at a time, and try to stay present and just trust that everything's going to work out the way it should, because you know what? It always has. So it always will. Hopefully you guys, that helps you tonight, and I will see you on the next read. Have a great night. Bye.